How's it going, guys? Coming at you with a part 1/intro video to the Project Grendel series. In this series, we're going to be building an AR-15 that is chambered for the 6.5 Grendel cartridge. Now, I know some of you out there are doing backflips and are super excited because you love the 6.5 Grendel. There is a huge cult following with the 6.5 Grendel and becoming even more mainstream. And then there's some of you out there that are scratching your heads because you have no idea what the heck a 6.5 Grendel is. Well, let me show you what it is. As you can see on the left, the 6.5 Grendel is a shorter case, but also wider than your typical 223, which is on your right. This is actually my hand load. It's a 75 grain boat tail hollow point from Hornady, and on your left we have a factory load Hornady, which is a 123 grain SST round. As you can see, the overall length is very similar, and that is because the Grendel has been optimized to be used in a standard AR-15. What's cool about the Grendel is you use a bullet that's over twice the weight with more powder capacity than a 223 5.56. So you get better long-range performance from the 6.5 Grendel. We're going to talk a lot more about this round in a separate video. We're going to go through the ballistics and talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of this cartridge. Really, the purpose of this video, though, is to go over the components and show you what is going to be going into the build. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you the lower receiver that we're going to be using for the build. This is a Gen 1 Noveski lower. It has a K2, Magpul K2 grip on it, and the BCM B5 Bravo stock system. Pretty dang awesome stock. I'm really been impressed with it so far. We are going to be changing out the trigger on this lower receiver and going to be putting in a Rock River National Match 2 stage, but that's going to be our lower receiver. Next is the upper receiver. As you can see, it is a serial forged upper. This one's made by Anderson, and I've been really impressed with Anderson. I think their anodizing is really nice and good quality on these uppers. So I just decided to pick one of these up. This one was 75 bucks. It did come with the forward assist and the dust cover as well built in. Alright, so for the handguard that we're going to be using in this series, we're going to be using the Midwest Industries M-Lock rail. This is the same rail that we used on the Project SPR 2.0 series. I love that rail so much. This is a 15-inch rail, and it weighs very, very little. So it's a very lightweight rail, very strong, very ergonomic. I love the M-Lock system, and it's just a great rail, so I decided to go with this for the Project Grendel. We've just decided to use the Midwest Industries Micro Gas Block low profile. I decided that on this rifle, because it's not going to recoil very heavily, I decided to go with just a flash hider on this one in the beginning, which is just a Daniel Defense one that I picked up, just a kind of a birdcage style flash hider. It's really more or less to protect the crown of this gun. I don't really need a flash hider necessarily because it's primarily going to be a hunting rifle and not a tactical rifle. However, I do reserve the right to change this out to a break later on, but for right now we're just going to be using a flash hider. I decided to go with just a standard charging handle because this rifle is going to be mainly used for hunting, and because I'm going to be carrying it on my back for long hours of the day, I didn't want an extended charging handle to be digging into my back. On that lower, we're going to be changing out the trigger to this National Match 2-stage trigger kit by Rock River. I really like the Rock River National Match. It's pretty crisp, pretty light, and it's a good price. I picked this up for 100 bucks. We'll see. I reserve the right to change out the trigger later on to something more fancy and nicer, but for right now we're going to use the National Match. Alright, for the scope mount for this rifle, we're going to be using the ADM 80 Recon mount. This is 30mm quick detach mount. We use this same mount, only with the Vortex labeled ADM mount for the Project SPR 2.0, and I like that mount enough that I decided to go with it again on this rifle. The scope that we're going with on this rifle is again one of my favorite scopes, and that is the Vortex Viper PST. This one's a 4-16 by 50mm second focal plane. I really like these scopes, and for the money, you really can't beat the quality of a Vortex Viper, in my opinion. I think they're probably the best quality scope out there, besides going with a super high-end scope like Night Force and the equivalent to that. But I think the Vortex Viper, again, are some of the best bang for the buck scopes out there. Alright guys, so the heart and soul of this rifle is the barrel. And this is a Lilja barrel chambered in 6.5 Grendel. This thing is just an absolute masterpiece. Lilja, for those of you guys that don't know, is one of the kind of elite manufacturers of barrels out there. This thing is 416R stainless. It's a 20-inch barrel with a 3R rifling, so it has 3 lands and grooves. So they're not counter-opposing each other, so you have less deformation of the actual round, and just a very, very, very high-quality, hand-lapped, match-grade, super match-grade barrel. I decided to go with a 20-inch barrel on this build because I wanted to keep some maneuverability. And most of your Grendel builds you'll see out there use either an 18-inch or a 24-inch. I decided to kind of split the difference. And the velocity loss between a 20 and 24-inch barrel is not worth the loss of maneuverability in my opinion. And so I decided to go with a 20-inch barrel. Like I said, guys, this thing is going to be the heart and soul of this rifle, and it's kind of a spare no expense barrel. I decided to just go totally super match grade right out of the gate and just get a phenomenal barrel, and I think the medium profile is going to be perfect weight for this rifle and give us the best accuracy per pound and maneuverability that we can get. This is being a 20-inch barrel, it is a rifle length barrel, so we have a rifle length gas tube. The bolt carrier group that I went with is an Anderson. So this is an M16 full auto bolt, chrome lined, really, really nice staking. Again, just a really nice bolt carrier from Anderson. What I like about Anderson is for the price, you get an MPI rated bolt, which is probably one of the most important things. But whereas this is a 6.5 Grendel, I can't use the standard bolt that it came with. So what we did get was a paired underground tactical bolt. Okay, so this is underground tactical. It comes paired specifically with this barrel, so they are headspaced together, which is a huge advantage of doing that way. But let me show you the difference real quick on this bolt. The actual surface of the bolt has been milled out. Underground tactical actually uses stronger steel that is of higher quality because it's you don't have as much meat around the lugs as you do on a standard AR-15, and therefore these bolts have a tendency to be a little weaker, and so they upgrade the steel in order to make them a lot more reliable. And Underground Tactical really is probably manufacturing the best 6.5 Grendel bolt out there right now. For magazines for this rifle, we're using ASC mags out of New Britain, Connecticut. These are 15 round mags. Because this is really going to be a hunting rifle and not really a tactical rifle, they do sell 27 or 25, 27 round mags that are about the same size as a 30 round mag for a 223. But I really won't ever probably utilize a 25 round mag. I'll probably buy a couple just to have them. But for the most part, I'm going to be doing low round counts for like hunting style of shooting, and these 15 round mags are going to be perfect for that. The ammunition that we're going to be utilizing, especially in the beginning until I work up my own hand load, is going to be this Hornady ammunition. This is the 123 grain SST round, and this is what I'm going to be using for my hunting load. And you know, this round actually has a ballistic coefficient of 510, which is phenomenal, and that's really what really gives the 6.5 Grendel its capabilities. Long range and its ballistics is the ultra slick and high BC bullets that you can utilize in this cartridge. So those are all the components that we're going to be utilizing in the Project Grendel rifle. The next few videos in the series, we're going to be showing you the build process of the upper. We're also going to be talking a lot about the ballistics of the 6.5 Grendel and kind of what makes the 6.5 Grendel a real star in my opinion, and the reason why I chose to go kind of off the beaten path with a cartridge that's not as popular as it should be. And we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to take this rifle out and we're going to stretch its legs. We're going to be shooting out to 1,000 yards with this thing, and we're going to show you how well that Grendel cartridge performs. So stick around, guys, for more videos in the future on this series. If you guys have any questions or comments about anything you see in this video, any of the components, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video if you do like what you see, and don't forget to share it with your friends, as well as subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this in the future. And as always, guys, thanks very, very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. See ya.